And we are back on the Chosen Life podcast for episode 172. He's back. He's the man, Marco De Silva of Century
Great
21.
to be back.
Century 21 Leading Edge, right?
That's
Got
right.
that right?
Yes, that's right. Century 21 Leading Edge Realty. That's right.
Perfect, like the pin says. And I'm Jonathan A. Cohen of Kormans LLP, Bible 3.0 author and lover of life. And we're going to be segueing from last week into this week, Marco. So we're kind of talking about we're going with this somewhere. Just you got to trust me on this. So talk about the introvert, right?
Right.
And the introvert being an extrovert, but you know how the introvert has to energize and everything else. So you and I had lunch a few weeks back, and I mentioned to you, Marco, and by the way, imminently I'm about to be doing this. So I'm heading off to a retreat up north called Vipassana. Right. I show up there, I hand over the phone. So, you know, we have our phones, our smartphones, right? No tablets, no phone, no TV, no text, no email, no computers, no laptops, no phone calls, no pens, no paper, no books. There is no contact to the outside world whatsoever. Now, this happens to us when we sleep. This happens to us when we're at yoga, when most of us go to the gym, except those naughty people, you know, that are on the phone for 10 minutes between sets. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, because you're so technology, a lover of technology, so adept at it. Being an introvert, how would you feel about a concept for 10 days of handing over that technology phone? So number one, you have no technology whatsoever. All you literally have is a clock. That's the only technology you're allowed to see what time it is and what day it is. And you're not talking for 10 days at all. How would you feel about that, Marco?
Wow. You know,
introverts should be like in paradise.
Yeah, it is. But okay, so knowing me,
yes,
I don't handle stress well. So the ability of shutting something off and then coming home and having to deal with 1,000 emails and things to take care of, that'll always be on my mind. So I love the concept, but wow, 10 days fully, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready for it now, but I could see myself doing that in the future. That'll be a big part of what I do, I think.
You sound like me 14 years ago.
There you go.
When I first saw the concept, and there was an open house. I went there. The grounds were beautiful. The meals they served were delicious. And I thought to myself, this looks like such a great concept, except people need me. I can't be away from things. It's too long. What if this? What if that? My period of my life. And I made a million excuses. I said, I'm not ready yet, but someday I shall do it. Well, someday is now officially today, and it's going to be happening, like I said, literally imminently. And so imagine now, law firm, David Corman, Timur, Yash, Faison, good luck for the next 10 days. You have my emergency, by the way, you give emergency contact information.
Right.
Emergency contact information is, here's the email, and here's the general voicemail for the place. I think they check it once a day, maybe. So good luck in finding me.
And are you ready for this?
Here's how I see it. So the way I see it like this, Marco, life is what it is. It's all on how we perceive it. You're saying, well, if I miss out on 1,000 emails, 100 emails a day, whatever it being, that sounds pretty stressful to me. You know what else sounds very stressful to me? Running a business, Marco.
Yeah.
How about this? You have clients. Clients have issues. Clients have all sorts of items. Then your coworkers, your realtors. Marco, I'm working on a deal. It's falling through. Marco, this person says they may sue me if I don't do this and this. Marco, am I doing the offer right? That sounds pretty stressful to me. And then, by the way, you have pets. You have a home, family. Everybody needs something, wants something. It sounds like a lot of responsibility, a lot of work. That sounds pretty stressful to me. You know what sounds not stressful?
10 days without a phone?
10 days. You know what you gotta do for those 10 days? Meditate, eat, sleep, and walk. Do you like the outdoors, Marco?
I love it. I'm a nature guy.
You like nature?
I love nature.
What if I told you...
Disconnect animals, nature. That's my world.
What if I told you you're going up north to a nice nature compound and basically get to walk in the trees quietly, you get to hear the birds, crisp air, you get to eat fresh food that somebody else made, you didn't have to make it, you don't have you don't have to clean anything, you don't have to worry about making anything, nobody's calling you to do anything, you just get to be. Doesn't that sound non-stressful?
I would love it, but the same thing, and I actually had a talk with Tassis, one of the owners. We had this discussion where if we go on vacation, do you completely turn off? Or do you like to check your phone and emails at the end of the day and just kind of keep a little bit of a drip contact going, a little balance? Or do you want to come home to having 1,000 emails? But yeah, I can see myself doing it. What I love what you're doing, it's on purpose. It's a moment that you're taking time, and that I'm all in, right? But yeah, I definitely see that escape, and you're right, because it's a lot of pressure, a lot of work you're always doing, and to completely shut off, amazing.
Now you want to hear one of my cheats to this?
All right.
Okay. We're at the office meeting the other day. We're at the office meeting at Kormans, and I'm talking to my staff, and I said, part of the thing is you're all going to help me on this because I don't want to come back to 10,000 emails. So here's how we're going to do this. Jonathan doesn't exist for 10 days. Imagine I literally don't exist because I'm disconnected from the world. There's literally nothing I can do. You have something that's brewing, things are going on. We have many lawyers in the office, many clerks, admin. So here's how you're going to play this. I want you to pretend that I don't exist. So if I can't deal with it while I'm gone, there's no use in CCing me on it whatsoever. CC another lawyer on it. And if there's a bunch of emails where other people are CCing me, when you reply, take me off the CC. Let's do that. By not CCing me on items and removing me from CCs and emails, you're going to cut out my emails by probably at least half, maybe 2/3. Right away, we're already ahead of the game. And I'm going to structure it that all my work emails go immediately to another lawyer. So he's seeing it in real time. He's going to deal with it in real time. And then I don't have to. I don't worry about that out of office. And oh no, what if they are not taken care of? No, someone's getting that email immediately. So you start to think ahead, how can you pre-cheat this thing? Because here's the thing. You're asking that question about, do I prefer being on vacation completely disconnected or connected? 99.99% of my vacations, let's say I'm going off to the Dominican. I'm off in Punta Cana. The way I do it, I'm not coming back to 1,000 emails. I'll go in the morning before breakfast or right after breakfast for half an hour.
Right.
I'll do it maybe after the afternoon nap, after lunch, and maybe before dinner. 2 to 3 times a day, I'll check anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes.
Right. And you found that balance, right?
But the only buttons that should be used are forward, 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 archive, 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 delete, delete, delete. Reply should barely be used. Those are the only 3 buttons you need in life when you're on vacation. Seriously, think about it, try it. Because you're away. You don't need to be doing this. If you're hitting the buttons, let's say for 100 emails, replies should be 5 or less. Most items can be deleted, archived, or forwarded. The end. That's how you make your life easy.
And one thing, and I admit, like even when we know that one of us are going on vacation, we're respectful of that, right? We'll cut down the emails. You say, hey, I'll take the helpline. I'll take care of your office. You go and enjoy yourself, right? So absolutely, you have to sort of pre-roll it to find that balance. But no, the whole disconnecting. And another thing too, I think that also makes a big difference is you have certain people that sort of take their time alone and really make the best of it, and some don't. I tend to be somebody who takes small moments, but I can really just, that energy, it's sometimes so simple, like a 30-minute walk, and I'll probably just recharge at 1,000%, while somebody might have 3 hours off, right? And they still haven't sort of recouped or haven't really taken that time and maximized it. So that's another thing that I've learned to do over the years is I take small moments and small times and really maximize it to myself. So yeah.
We all find our little bits to make it work, you know? The other cheat I'm going to give you, that was cheat number 1. I'll give you cheat number 2. Take a look in the contacts, your favorites in your contacts in your phone. Then check your text message conversations. We all save the most important ones where we're messaging people on a daily basis. Do all those people know you're on vacation? For my case, do all these people know I'm not accessible? And people that I work with on a daily basis, people that I interact with almost on a daily basis, I need to pre-prep them so they know what's happening and they know how the transition is going to happen. If I was a realtor, for example, because we're dealing with a lot of the real estate industry, if I was a realtor and I have 10 clients on the go and either buying, selling, about to, and I'm going to do a 10-day silent meditation retreat and I'm disconnected from the world, all those 10 people know exactly where I am, what I'm doing. I've already got somebody that works with me, a team member. I've already transitioned those people. Yeah. I do want to be CC'd so I know what's going on so I can get back up to speed when I'm back. But I would make sure not to leave those people high and dry. Imagine I'm a realtor that I'm going and helping somebody buy their first home, and then all of a sudden something comes on the market and they try texting the realtor, there's no response, and the person never bothered to say that they left for 10 days. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing something I've practiced and got very good at. It's a saying. It's something like an incoming call takes 20 minutes, an outgoing call takes 2 minutes. And the idea of that thought is that when you have a well-oiled machine in real estate and you actually sort of pace your clients and they're expecting, you're always on top of things, it's totally different. Rather than getting a call and, hey, Marco, well, why is this happening? Or why, what's happening with this stage? No, imagine calling them after you meet them and you're giving them a 2-minute update. A 2-minute update, here's what we did, here's where we're at, stages are booked, we got this, and then here's a copy of the listing, and you're always on top of things. Now you don't get those 20-minute, sort of complaint calls or trying to put out the fires. And I've always believed when you do it that way, even your clients, they know you're a human being. They want you to take your time off. It's just doing it right. So yeah, I'm big on sort of proactively having that in place, and clients want you to enjoy your life. They want you to take your time, yeah.
It's about having systems at the end of the day, and if you have the systems in place, the people in place, you can structure life, and we can't all just leave on a dime. Like, unfortunately, people get sick, things happen, you lose a family member. Sometimes we have to roll with those. I mean, that's just the reality of life. But when we have an event coming up in our lives and we can prepare for it, yeah, it may take a little bit of planning. In my case, I've been preparing for 2 months. I'm going away for 10 days. Disconnected from the world. It takes 2 months of planning to get everybody structured.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
But then I know what's going to happen. I manifested this. I know where all the key people are, what everybody's up to. Everybody knows who to talk to. I've already connected all the right players. So anybody needs me, here's this person, here's that person, personal and professional. Everybody's in the loop together. Life should be simple. So now I'm going to tell you, because part of having systems, you and I are big geeks as far as into systems and nerds into tech and all that good stuff. So one thing is about going off to do a silent meditation retreat. I once had another plan, and I tried to invoke this plan, and you're going to laugh at me.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. So back in the day, now we're going to talk about phones, because this is all segueing.
All right.
It all comes down to phones. I remember I'm on this first date, and I'm with this young lady, and she's laughing at me because she has one of the first iPhones, and I'm on my BlackBerry Pearl. And, I love the size form. Like, it was this size, a phone.
Yeah.
BlackBerry Pearl, and I'm scrolling. It's easy life. And she's like, she goes, why are you on your idiot phone? That's not a smartphone. That's an idiot phone. I'm on my iPhone, and look at all these great things that the iPhone can do.
Yeah.
And, I like everybody else, I got converted over to the iPhone. I tried Androids for a while. I like being able to customize everything. And I realized, you know what? iPhone, Apple, they know how to set things up for me pretty well. I don't have to think about this. I want to make my life easy. iPhone, boom. And then I reached this point, Marco. It was about, 8-10 years ago, okay? I said to myself, what if I was just going to get a BlackBerry? And so this is around, let's say, circa iPhone 6, whatever, iPhone 7, whatever, around that generation. I said, I'm going to go buy myself, I always wanted to try the BlackBerry Passport. So I'm going to buy myself a BlackBerry.
You ended up buying that? So you got that?
So I buy them. I'm Kijiji. I buy my BlackBerry Passport. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to keep my life simple. Phones, emails, text message, maybe a little web browsing, and life is simple. You know how long my BlackBerry Passport experiment lasted?
How long?
How long would you guess?
I don't know. You kept it going at least 4 years?
1 day.
1 day.
My BlackBerry Passport experiment lasted 1 day.
And you couldn't do it?
Do you know why it lasted only 1 day?
Why?
Because I have 3 or 4 different email accounts. And even something simple by then to set up all the email accounts onto the BlackBerry Passport wasn't so compatible. It had to read, because remember, you got to read emails, calendar, and contacts. Something very simple. But when the software is no longer being serviced anymore in the operating system, so you have a new operating system as far as your account goes. Let's say Google. You're on a Google account, and it's up to date as far as all the software goes from the Google side, and you bring it to an outdated BlackBerry Passport with the old operating system, they don't want to read each other. So it wouldn't read all my calendars, wouldn't read all my emails, and contacts don't even think about it. So now I get my text messages, I get my phone calls, the browsing kind of works. It lasted 1 day. That's how long I owned that passport. And rather than throw it against the wall, it went right back on Kijiji and it was gone. why did my BlackBerry experiment not go the way I wanted to? And is my dream dead? Because I think you, from what we've talked before at parties,
I love
you're
BlackBerry.
keeping this dream alive.
I think the last BlackBerry I had, but the difference is I had the Key 2. I think it was called the Key 2. And that had the Android system in the behind of it, right? So I got the best of both worlds. But I'm so big on keys. Like to this day, I got a Google Pixel and nothing against it. I really don't care what phone I use anymore. Ever since BlackBerry left, I was really passionate about getting the new phone, the new BlackBerry. Now I'm like, I don't care what I use. But till this day, I still struggle to text and email fast. It's just like I got to stop and focus. But I was so used to the buttons. I mean, I could be doing it with just one finger, type on the BlackBerry and type fast, but I miss it. And a lot of the technology on BlackBerry rolled out to all these other phones like iPhone and Android. So it had the ability, but I saw where they lost. And one of the biggest thing I'll tell you where BlackBerry failed, in my opinion, is I'm not sure if you know a company called QNX. So QNX is the operating systems on the majority of all our phones. Okay, so BlackBerry bought QNX. So why was it that they allowed Android and Apple to connect to the ability and take the number one and number two as far as connectivity to phones when they owned it? Why didn't they take that and say, hey, we got QNX, we got BlackBerry, let's empower our phones and our cars to connect together and work together, and let's dominate the market. And they failed. They allowed Apple to do that and Android, and I think that was one of their biggest failures.
If I could have, at the time, I knew in my mind how to fix BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I saw it a mile away. Here's what I would have done. I wouldn't have done the playbook. I would have, instead of all the time and energy to bring the playbook, I would have taken the operating system from the playbook, simply updated the BlackBerry operating system to look like the playbook one.
Right.
And I think they could have survived by keeping an outdated operating system on their phones and putting all the updated operating system on the playbook, which is an iPad, but you can't use it without it being tethered to the device.
Right.
That's what killed them. Even if they could have had a proper standalone usable playbook without tethering to the phone, I think they could have saved themselves. But by making a non-usable tablet, outdated operating system on the phone, they kiboshed themselves. But look, we're never gonna bring back BlackBerry at this point. But can I share a personal story that you know? Okay, so folks, this is where it was all born from. Marco and I are at a party, we're at a gala, we're in our tuxedos, we're eating caviar,
That's
drinking
right.
champagne, and laughing at the world generally.
fun
And Marco
gala.
says to me, "Oh, Jonathan, I have an idea for you." And I'm like, "Marco, do tell." He goes, "I'm going to bring back the simple, basic phone.
Yes.
I'm going to buy a phone that's a phone, text message,
The minimal phone.
the
yes.
minimal phone." So
Yeah.
this is a prototype, but this is
Prototype, yeah.
but it'd be a little bigger, but it'd be basically look like this, the minimal phone. For somebody who's so high tech and lover of tech, how do you make a minimal phone work in this day and age, Marco?
Yeah, so I love that question. And my idea is not to be fully indulged in it. It's sort of a secondary phone, which actually brings me to this one article I read. It was the Wall Street Journal, and what was it called? It was dumb phones and fax machines. Something about bosses is the new Boss Flex. I think that was the title of it. What they did is they followed a bunch of sort of CEOs and sort of higher end sort of business owners, and there was a bit of a tone on it, which is funny. Was the question arose, was it a little bit pretentious of them to sort of be disconnected when they had so many people trying to get a hold of them? So a lot of these CEOs and leaders kind of disconnected, but they went all the way. And a lot of sort of the junior sort of leaders of the company had to hold the fort because they could never get a hold of this big CEO and all. So there's a blended way of doing it right. And to me, I'm more interested in sort of once in a while on a weekend, or again, those moments that I talked to you about, kind of disconnecting, switching to sort of that dumb phone or the minimal phone, and sort of naturally gravitating into that. Because I do love the idea of a simple phone. And I know if you define it, everyone's going to define it different. Like what's a dumb phone? What's a minimal phone? It's everywhere.
Let's not define it.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
Marco, I'm the best designer in the world, and I have unlimited resources available to me. I can make for you the perfect minimal phone. For you, Marco, what is the perfect minimal phone? What's its capabilities?
Okay. I don't want to. I want to be able to like sort of disconnect, but I do want the basics. I want my emails, my texts, and be able to call and and throw WhatsApp in there because that's part of the messaging, and that's it. I don't need apps. You know, I don't need the apps at that moment at time. And I know it's easier said than done. I once downloaded an app, so now you can also download minimal apps where they turn your smartphone into sort of a minimal. And it was funny, my first experience with that is the free plan, you had sort of minimal choices of what you can choose. And I struggled, and I can't remember, it was like 5 top apps, but you only had like your choice of 5. And I remember struggling, well, no, I can't give that up. Or well, and maybe I would add those 5 and I'd be like, wait, I think this app's more important. I'll substitute that one for that. So it's not easy, but for those moments, I can tell you, it's sort of a black app. You can't really see much, no colors, no distractions. And I loved it. I loved it.
It's the perfect phone for 10-year-olds, elderly, and Marco and Jonathan.
Right, and that's another thing to mention though. The form of it is, to me, makes a big difference. I want something small. The form factor of it, like exactly. There you go. You see, that would be a great ideal minimal phone.
Okay.
Does less, it should be smaller, right? Am I wrong?
Can I ask you a dumb question about a dumb phone?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like this. Keep the smartphone, because one of the things, you don't have to have both. You don't have to have one or the other. You're going to have both now. So I got my smartphone, but let's say I want to shut off the smartphone. In this dumb phone, do I have to pull the SIM card every time, or can they work concurrently together?
No, so now you've got digital SIMs. And
Really?
Digital SIMs, you can have them on 2 different phones. So digital SIMs are big and they're helpful. But yeah, so some you can physically, depending on the phones you have. A lot of the newer phones have SIMs, and they're upgrading even SIMs now to, I forget what they call it, iSIM, I think it is. But yeah, now they're digital SIMs. You can travel and order a SIM just online. A lot of times they'll have a QR code where you scan, and it sort of sets up that phone. So what it is that...
And the other phone with its SIM is still workable.
Yeah, so there's 2 things, and I'm not an expert on this, but a lot of the newer phones have an actual mini SIM, okay? It's actually part of your phone, and basically all you're doing is connecting through either a QR code or whatever it might be to activate that SIM that's in there, right? They are now taking it even further with the iSIMs, I believe. They are so tiny, and so yeah, it's like part of your phone. It becomes part of your phone.
Marco De Silva, have you found yet the perfect minimal phone for you?
I thought I did, and I don't want to bring brand names here, but there was one that I was ready, and it was the one that I kind of showed you.
That one was pretty sexy.
It was, till I saw the form factor on the videos. It's bulky, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's got the buttons, I love it, but it's just, I can't do it. I need a nice slim phone. It's going backwards. You got a minimal phone that does less, but bulky, and I can't. I'm very big on form factor.
So as we end today's episode, Marco, do you like deals?
Deals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like making deals?
I love deals.
All day long?
Yeah.
I got a deal for you.
All right,
Are you
talk
ready?
to me.
Okay. Secretly, I've been watching minimal basic phones in the background for years also.
All right.
Now, you are clearly the expert in putting the time and aggravation in finding it. You find your perfect minimal basic phone, and you pull the trigger, you pull it up, you order, you like the form factor, it's ready, it's good to go, it can be used concurrently with your existing smartphone. You call me up, please.
Yes.
I will order the exact same phone.
I like it.
And then I will agree to do this for 3 months. Weekends, whenever I feel like it, I'm going to close off my smartphone, use my dumb phone. I will agree to do this for 3 months.
So the minimal challenge, is that
The
what,
minimal challenge.
That's what it is. All right.
The minimal phone challenge. We're
right.
going to have it. We're going to be minimal phone brothers for 3 months. And then we're going to come back on the show, and we're going to talk about our experience with our minimal phones.
I like it. That's what we need. I'm game with that.
Now all we got to do is find the phone.
Yeah, and you know what? We might show up with 2 flip phones if we can't find the real minimal. I don't know what it's going to
I
be.
don't know, man. I don't know if you look at those
wouldn't mind
Motorola
a-
Razors,
remember those?
but
Weren't those nice phones?
well, they're still around.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Send in your questions, your comments. Do you have the most basic, beautiful form factor minimal phone for us? We're ready to do it. We want to do the minimal
Yeah.
phone challenge.
I'm dying to find the right one, and I'm ready for it.
We're ready to make that commitment. Stay tuned for next week because we're going to do a flip and we're going to talk about real technology and smart technology and how it's fixing real estate. So stay
Great
tuned.
stuff, guys.
Chosen Life Podcast.